Hi, it is the Human Operating System time. So this channel is for education and technology only. Today, I like to share with you on the strength development or strength handling of the 1850 Shilin Tao sets, which is different than the strength handling or development of today's Shilin Tao, which is based on the 1960s platform. Now, before I get into the technical of the strength, I have received many messages sent to me these few days. So the first thing is that there's a friend asking me maybe I should wear the black clothes like Steve Jobs. So I will look like more professional and more mysterious. Well, my answer is that I love this better. Instead of wearing the mysterious and the professional Steve Jobs type of black clothes. Even though I'm Silicon Valley, I love this. The Pikachu, because we are ordinary people, okay? And I like to be ordinary, and I like to be like with everybody, have fun, talking technical, have fun. Like the engineers in the valley, we can go sit in the lunch, have a piece of napkin, drawing circuits and argue the heck out of it. But we are still friends, okay? I like that better. The second thing is, there's a message sent to me from Asia saying that I should stop sharing the informations of the ancient, because that is no different than giving weapons to the kids. Well, for this, what my take is this. This is an education channel. I assume even me is ignorant. So we are the same. And because we are ignorant, we are not perfect, we need the educations from the ancient ancestor. So we all become better. So instead of saying that I shouldn't reveal this thing because it's giving people a weapon. Actually, if you look into this channel, I never ask people to go fighting. In fact, I talk a lot of Buddhisms and this technical, because there's keep into the educations and technology. Education so that we can improve ourselves, technology so that we understand technically what's going on. Now, even in my books, Wing Chun, Beginning Wing Chun, page 101, that is the rules of practice martial art of the Shaolin Temple. We say that Wing Chun is from Shaolin, a Buddhist art. So there is a rules, and we subject to the rule. Okay. And also there is a message come to me, ask me to stay in YouTube, because what I present here is education and technology. Anybody who look into my video will know that it is education and technology. So there is no need to go to my own blog. So for this, I am still thinking, what should I do? Okay. Now, Speaking of the Buddhist art, Wing Chun is the Buddhist art, and we don't want to give weapons to the students or to other people. Well, we need to understand Buddhism. The core of Buddhism is enlightenment. And enlightenment of what? Enlightenment of we don't want to get into the state, the physiological state of greed, hatred, delusion, or ignorance. This is the Buddhists call the three poison. We don't want to get into the state of the three poison. What do I mean by state? Greed, hatred, delusion, ignorance is not about philosophy. It's not about I think you are greed. I think you just have all this poison. It's not. It's the state, physiological state. We need to examine ourselves. So the greed, an example of the greed is this. If I have this idea of I want to become a grandmasters of the world, or make all the money from everybody, or make all the money from you, that's called greed. When I have this thought, my physiological state changes. Okay, my physiological state changes into that state, that physiological state, and the entire body is going to run in that state. And thus it's no longer enlightenment, it's no longer peaceful. The second is hatred. So if you watch Kung Fu movie about Wing Chun, sometimes they say the mindset of Wing Chun is revenge. Well, you get into the state of hatred. Your body is going to react that way. Your body chemistry will start to change into that type of body chemistry. Or in this hatred state is like, if you do something which is hurting me, and I'm going to get it back, and I'm going to use all the reasons to just want to get you. Or when I am, say, if I'm poor, you bully me. When I'm rich, you're poor, I'm going to give back 10 times. Well, that is hatred also. That's revenge. That's hatred. So the Buddha's teaching is that, don't get into the state. The delusion, ignorance, usually example is this. Same with in the valley, or same in Wing Chun or Qigong or anything. When somebody says something, we don't even digest what is it. Right away we jump into, I know it too, I have it too, my Sifu teach me too. That is called ignorance and delusion. We don't even know what it is. That type of mindset is going to get us into those states. You can feel the body sensation, it changes when one gets into the greed, the hatred, the ignorance. Thus, that is not the enlightenment state. Those state is the poison state. It's going to screw up the mind and screw up the body. Okay. So the Buddha's teaching is to get away from that. Okay. And only when one get away from that, one can get into the Chinese call Xing Xi Xiang Yi. In today's language, it is the mind, breath synchronizations, or the heart, lungs synchronizations into that state. In today's words, language, sports science language, that is the state of recovery. So in the ancient, it is called the state of nurture qi. It's like in the Wing Chun Inceptions, in the chapter 6, 7, that's the state. One need to get into this states to enter Samadhi, the advanced, the Buddhist cultivations. Okay? And today, we be able to check whether we enter into the state with heart rate, breathing rate, respiration rate, heart rate variability, and SpO2. So we can check it if we are in this state or not. So if one is away from this state, get into this state, the recovery state. This is the state of peaceful, tranquil, and really, how to say that, cool and comfortable. Okay, not warm and really excited and all those kind of stuff. Over here, once we get into it, you know your body change. Okay, so that's the teaching of the Buddhas. And you see now, this is not a philosophy. It is a physiological state. It's going to get you into this this state. And if we are not into that, or we want to get out from that, we have to get into this state. And in today's science and technology, we can measure it. So if we stay here most of the time, then our health and our mind will be in the better state. Over the state of this, we're going to go tunnel visions and so forth, and the body is going to go dissipating energy and so forth. Okay, so this Buddha's teaching. So it is not teaching a philosophy of Buddhism that we all just talk and we don't know how to walk. This is real scientific. This is the science of the Buddhism, of the science of the Buddha Dharma, the science of the Wing Chun. It is a science, as I show you here. Okay, if you don't believe me, just think about somebody who pissed you off a long time ago, and then you want to get revenge, or you get mad, and so forth. See whether you enter into the state of hatred. See how your body responds. And see how you drop it, get into the mind-breathing synchronization. Like people just pay attention to your breathing, deep breathing, take a deep breathing, take a deep breathing. When they take a deep breathing, actually they synchronize their mind and the breathing. They get into this state if they are good at it. And then you can measure it with your heart rate and heart rate variability and respiration rate. This is called cultivations. To move from here to here is called cultivation. In Chinese, called xiuxing. So those who cultivate Buddhism, our ancestors in Wing Chun, they have this capability. Because they're Buddhists, Buddhist monk, Buddhist nun. Okay? Okay. So that's the important part, because if we have no handle of our own physiological state, we couldn't even handle ourselves, our mind, and the body in an optimal state. So in the ancient, like in the Shaolin, you can read the reading. In order to study martial art, you need to study counting the breath. That's what it is. Okay? So it is really solid, tangible stuff. It's not just philosophy and mind. Well, can we do this every day? Not that easy. Not that easy. One need to 24/7, 365 look into one. Am I getting to this? Am I getting to this? Am I getting to this? You know your body feel difference right away. Like you go to watch a sex and violence movie, right away you feel different. It's no longer in this cool, peaceful state. You know something changed. But sometimes we don't. We go for the sensations. we don't stay in this state. So if you want to talk about Qigong, internal art, you need to know this. Okay, and this is actually a part of the 1850s Xiu Lim Tao sets. The first line of the set over here is said that quiet the mind, return to awareness, standing in an equal shoulder wide stance. Quiet the mind, return to awareness. We need to be able to do that. If we get into the greed, hatred, ignorance, delusions, we cannot get there. We cannot quiet this mind. So there's techniques for that. Okay. Now, let's get into the strength handling of the Xiu Lim Tao practice. The 1850 Xiu Lim Tao practice is Yun Jing, transportation, transporting the force into this language, transforcing the force. As in the last time, I already explained to you in the last video, transporting the force, okay, into this language, accurate language. The 1960s is actually apply strength. They are two different things. If you get into the technical analysis on the strength handling or strength development of the two sets, the 1850s and the 1960s, they have a two different type of strength characteristics. And the 1960s is the 用力 handling, apply the strength. The 1850s is 运劲, transport the force and apply strength. They are different, and thus the characteristics of practice is different. Okay. In the 1960 platform as a Xiu Lim Tao we practice today, the first thing is that you get into this triangle shape. Okay, the idea of you have to have this triangle shape. Okay, the idea of the not moving elbow position, have to put front there, you know, like a one fist away. This position. Have the idea of structure. The body have the structure, have the hold on, and then the body has to be behind the strike. Okay, so the body behind the strike, and then the spine now have to be straight, lifting angles, so forth. So this is the 1960s. Okay. Now, why it is applying strength? Okay, let me share with you this, and then I'm going to show you, and everybody can actually experience it today. The Yun Jing, the transportations of force, it is a synchronizations of the 6 core elements, as in chapter 8 of the Wing Chun Inception. Okay, it is the 6 core element, and so there's the synchronizations. Okay, all this line, and then it is taking the pathway of the 12 meridians and the 12 the muscle related to the 12 meridians, as in the last video I shared with you. Okay, and then it's using a dynamic handling called the 蛇形涌动, snake, slide, pupa, move. Pupa is like the small worm of the before the butterfly. Okay, the small worm. silkworm. So snake move is like the big joints is moving like a snake sliding. The pupa move is like the small joints, like it moves like the worm moving. So this is a snake slide worm move. Okay, that is the mechanics. And then it's using 节转轮坊. 节转轮坊 is everything, every joint is torquing. Okay, torquing. It is torquing. Okay, so this 蛇形运动, this is inheritance from 峨眉蛇庄. Okay, this 节转轮坊, the entire body spin and torquing, that is Shaolin short strike. Okay, so the characteristics of developing strength is different between the 1850s and 1960s. Now I'll make an example. Say, everybody know this hand, right? Phục Sao, right? Phục Sao. So if you do Phục Sao, your elbow is here, your wrist is here, okay? You fork, and you know you are using the elbow, the shoulder, because once you do that, you know this is the shoulder is have the strength. You're using the shoulder strength. Okay, and then your elbow putting down here, and I want to have a structure behind. That's what it is trained for, or that's how it trained. And then my body is behind it, my spine has to be straight, and then the structure. So you have the triangle shape, the elbow, this is there, the body is behind it, this is a structure holding up, and then the spine straight, the lifting endless, and so forth. That's what, how, if you look at all these videos in YouTube and how people practice, this is how it is, right? 1960s. And so when you do this, the reason why it's named as applied strength is when you do this, you're actually using your shoulder to support it. So either it is this Phục Sao or Tan Sao or Sun Punch, always using this side, the shoulder, or even your Pong Sao, you're using this thing, right? This joint, and then this is there. Okay, or you can use this, and then you say, well, I'm going to sink down or press down. Okay, this thing. Now, the 1850s is different. The 1850 doesn't call this Phục Sao because this is not Phục Sao. Phục Sao in 1850 is this cover up hand. Phục is cover up hand. This hand is called Gong Sao, like bow, you know, like shooting arrow and bow. This is called Gong Sao because it's hand like that. It's not like that. This is like 1960s. This is the bow hand. So the bow hand, now the same thing compared with this 1960 and then the 18. You see this make a difference, so you can see a stand up lyric. 1960, 1850. Okay, maybe high a little bit. 1960s, 1960s, 1850s, 1960s. Notice that, you know, the way how do it, 1850s. So in the 1850s, this hand is not using the shoulder, it's using this yin channel, the yin channel at exhale. And this is not have a position. This doesn't have a position. It follows the snake slide worm move. and it have a little bit spin there. Okay, and when you do this, like in the last video, you will feel the strength, the force is transported to the fingertip. This all is lightweight, and you feel that is going to the fingertip. If you change into the 1960, then you see the force, the strength is no longer the force, the strength is locate here, locate here, locate here. Okay, and it is not get into the fingertip, it's here, here, here. So that's why there's apply strength. Well, this is the transporting the force. They are different. Okay, so because it has a different mechanics, they develop different stuff. One is developing using strength. One is developing the transport of the force. Okay. So in the 1960s, you do the Fok Sao, you do the Wu Sao, still you're using this part of the strength of the shoulder, the elbow, this part. In the 1850s, it is not. It is when you go out like that, using this exhale, using the yin meridians, yin muscle. When you do Wu Sao come back, Wu Sao come back is actually using the yang meridians, and you inhale. So this is exhale, this is inhale. So this is light. You just want to transport the force out and get in, but you don't want to tense up any part of the body. When you do this, you tense it up. That's why doing this is that you practice this or the Shilim Tao, you get burning shoulder or different places is just hold up. Because the structure is also holding up. Okay? So in the 1960s, using of strength, your body is behind it. Your elbow is here. So you always have a distance this way. In the 1850s, it is always be able to get in, because I want to stick into your body. If I'm doing this, I cannot get in, because always this have something here in between you and me. But if I do this, see my body change, I can come in right away. So that is why it's calling sticking body short strike type of Jing handling, or the force transportations. It consists of the snake slide, pupa or womb move, and the turning, the joints turning. Okay, so they are different. Okay, so this is using the yin and yang and the entire body, and it is synchronizations, as I explained here, with your momentum and so forth. Okay, in the chapter 8 there. Here is based on, I have a structure, I have a weight behind me, my elbow is putting here, I have the triangle shape, and this in the 1850s is say no, I'm going to change all the time. And when I do, say for example, do this Fok Sao, you say, well, I want a triangle shape. Okay, so when you do that, you can feel right away. In the 1850s, the Gong Sao is like, I'm not a triangle shape. The entire thing is like a cylinder. When I turn, this is going to turn, go inside there, okay? Or this is going to press in. It's like turning a cylinder. If I'm a cylinder, it's a turning. So it's very different type of thing, okay? And that's why they use the yin and yang and so forth. So that's how it is. So in here, I want to say, okay, just look at this as a difference, okay? This is following the ancient Chinese, traditional Chinese martial arts common denominator. 1960 platform is no longer that. It's a different type of idea behind it. If you want to study this, then you need the 6 core element. You need all this thing, 6 core element, and then the physiological states. Because again, physiological state is going to go into the Buddhist thing, Buddhist cultivation stuff. Deal with the physiological state. Deal with the qi. Okay, so I hope that you see the big picture there. And for the past few decades, when people import Tai Chi and so forth in, well, unless they understand this, the Tai Chi or internal, we really don't know what is that about. And if you want to talk about ancient Chinese culture in traditional Chinese martial arts and technology, this is a technology. Buddhist, Ermei, Shaolin sword strike. This have evolved. What the Tai Chi, the internal stuff is the different stuff. Okay? Well, is there anything wrong to do a 1960s platform? No. People can create that. It's free for everybody to create their own stuff. For the internal stuff, we add some Tai Chi on the 1960s platform to develop some internal Wing Chun stuff. Is that wrong? No. So you have to watch out. In this channel, I just tell you what technically is different. I don't say who is right, who is wrong, who is better, who is not good. I just tell you, this is the component. This is how it functions. This is how it functions. And as what I shared just now, just go try it. The usual way, when your shoulder, your elbow put there, your shoulder, and this, and then this way where you're using this part of the force instead of this part of the force. So the same. This posture might look very similar between 1960 and 1850s. This folks out. But one in the 1960s is using this yang side, and when the Wu Shao, same thing using yang side. In the 1850s it used the yin side, and then the Wu Shao is using the yang side. It's alternative, yin yang, yin yang, yin yang. That's why in the Queen Quid 1850, the first quid, okay, you can put a snapshot there. The first quid is say, quiet the mind, return to awareness. You need to be able to do that, and you'll be able to check it with the heart rate variability and so forth here now. The second is say, 2 hands raised up in front, aware of the yin yang. Okay, so yeah, number 2. 2 hands raised up in front, aware of the yin yang. When you raise your hand up, you're aware of the yin and the yang, because you're going to use it alternatively in dynamic. And so that your body can, as what Bruce Lee said, flow like water. That is the idea behind the 1850s shooting top sets. Okay? So hope that you see that now the difference. And you see that with this transportation of Jing, that's why in the last video I said every move, the force has to go to the fingertip. Okay, like when I do a Biuji, the 1850s Biuji is like that. That is to transport this out and then transporting it back. That's Biuji. Today's Biuji is like this. Okay, you tense up, you do this. So that's why this is called Yongli, applying strength to poke. This is called transporting the Jing, different stuff. Okay.